I'm here today with Lonnie Jenkins of the Chicago Fire Department, Director of Research and Planning. We've just got done doing a roundtable meeting with a number of different first responders, ventures as a part of the Department of Homeland Security Emerge accelerator, all around wearable technologies for first responder. We've had so much conversation today really around how do we develop more innovative solutions, really on this topic of what does it look like in the future for first responders? What is the first responder of the future? In your mind and what you're seeing in your role, what do you think that looks like?
I look at today's world in the sense of how technology has evolved and some of the additional risks that are introduced into an urban area like Chicago, and being able to adapt from what's been a traditional history of putting out fires, dealing with hazardous material, dealing with medical emergencies, to the evolving challenges around terrorism, where your communication systems may be at risk, and just being able to do a lot more about what can happen in this urban environment in the city called Chicago. And firefighters have to be equipped with technology that will circumvent those type actions. And so I really see that with the combination of being able to locate firefighters, that's always essential, and to save lives and reduce loss is very important. So technology that will allow us to identify where our resources are important, as well as technology that will enable the right information to be delivered to first responders at critical times, whether or not that's layout of a building, whether or not that's the hazard material that's in there, whether or not that's information with respect to the structure of a building, truss systems or whatever. But being able to just quickly identify and selectively choose the information that you want to be delivered to you is critical, because they're still focusing on the fire. There may be only one or two things they really need in order to deal with that particular incident. So
we talked about some of these different areas now. I mean, those are really interesting to hear. So much of the innovation is coming from more agile, innovative startups, right? The entrepreneurial ecosystem. While we're out there and we're looking at these things and entrepreneurs are developing solutions, why is it important to co-develop those and come up with things that they know solves a problem? And how are you seeing this in your role, kind of developing what's 5-10 years out and down the line for you guys?
Well, one of the first things that my boss told me, our fire commissioner told me when I started, was you can't do your job by sitting in your office. And so I spent a lot of time in the field, visiting various firehouses, going to events that have taken place in Chicago to see how our first responders actually work and operate, and really dialogue with them. And the challenge is, sometimes a problem is presented, but problems are presented with solutions. And you have to get underneath the surface of that. It's what's driving that solution? Why do you think that's important? Why is it relevant? Because sometimes you have a bias in terms of what those solutions are. So I think any startup that's actively engaged, as you can look at movies and you can look at TV shows like Chicago Fire, but the other thing I heard was Chicago Fire doesn't represent anything that really happens with firefighters. So bringing that sense of reality by actually getting out and talking to first responders, I think, is an important message that any startup should at least consider and entertain in terms of how to move forward in the future. And then the other part is to create a partnership where there is indeed a technology person like myself within a public safety organization, the startups, as well as the first responders, I think is the only way you can be successful in delivering new technology. Because change is difficult. For a career that's spanned over 100 years where things have been traditional, and to get that process change in place with new technology has to be one that's well thought out. You have to be able to present to the firefighters and the EMS teams what is the benefit to them.
And I think that's right on the nail. And we had a lot of those conversations today with the devices and solutions that we saw, and the first responders had a chance to interact with them. So we're really glad to have you guys here, and hopefully you got the same out of it. So
it was great.
Thanks so much, Lonnie. Lonnie Jenkins with the Chicago Fire Department, Director of Research and Planning. Thanks again.
Thank you.